Hi everyone, this is Group 4. Our project for EEE 316 lab was to design a remote mouse controller. In this video, we will show you how our IR remote mouse controller works and how we made it. We used a regular TV remote and a microcontroller based system for interfacing with the PC. Various mouse operations could be performed just by pressing different buttons on the remote. This is the Tata Sky TV remote we used, and this is the receiver circuit which we will be connecting to the PC.
The receiver circuit is connected to the PC through the serial port. This is the receiver serial port. The female port on the receiver circuit is connected to the male port of the cable. The other end of the cable is connected to the serial port of the PC. Our receiver gets power from the USB port of the PC. There is also provision for using an adapter to power this receiver. We make the power connection to the PC through the USB port. The green light here indicates that the device has been powered on.
After the necessary connections have been made, we execute the exe file to enable our device. Now our remote control mouse is ready to be used. It performs just like any other mouse, just with the added benefit of working from a distance. Now let's check out our mouse performance. As you can see, our mouse is moving up, down, left and right by pressing the colored buttons on the remote. Like any other mouse, our mouse has all possible clicking options as well. It can right click, left click and double click to select a program just by pressing a single remote control button. Here we selected the video clip first by left clicking and then double clicked to open it. We've also managed to add on some bonus features to our mouse. As you can see, it can move diagonally in all 4 directions. It can also drag and drop items. It can select multiple items or drag along a single item and drop it. The advantage of such a remote controlled mouse is that it works from a distance, which is quite helpful, especially when you're watching a movie on your PC. Now let's take a look at how we made our device. First, let's take a closer look at the remote we used. The remote sends signals through an IR LED whose wave shapes we observed in a digital oscilloscope. These pulses were fed to the microcontroller, which has been programmed to decode the signals and relate it to mouse operations. As some difficulties may be faced while decoding the signals sent by the regular remote, you can make a remote yourself using a microcontroller which could be programmed to send specific data when a button is pressed.
We made such a remote ourselves. This is that remote. An ATmega32 microcontroller is used and a 555 timer IC which modulates the signal at 38 kHz. The various buttons over here works as the mouse buttons. We power it up with an adapter. Now if we press different buttons, different defined signals are transmitted which have perfect wave shapes, as you can see here.
Now let's move on to the receiver circuit. The receiver IC output is connected to the microcontroller ICP pin. The microcontroller is programmed to send a certain character when a positive edge is found. The receiver was first simulated in Proteus and then drawn out in Ares to make a PCB. Then different parts have been soldered onto it.
Now I am going to show you the complete circuit. This is our PCB board. Here is the top side and this is the bottom side. And here is the whole receiver circuit with different parts soldered onto it. First we have the ATmega 48 microcontroller, which runs with the help of 8 MHz external crystal oscillator. Here is the oscillator with 2 capacitors connected to it. The circuit is powered by a 5-volt supply, which could be taken from an adapter or from PC USB port. Then we have the DB9 female port for serial communication with the PC. And then here is the serial communication IC MAX 232. This is the TSUP 1738 receiver IC, which receives the signal sent by the remote, and it is connected to the ICP pin of the microcontroller. And lastly, these 5 pins on the side are ISP pins used for in-system programming. We have made a programmer as well. It is called USB ASP. It has a ATmega48 microcontroller where the firmware of the programmer is burnt. It is connected to the PC using a USB cable, and this cable over here connects our circuit to the programmer. So now our receiver circuit can be burned straight from the PC using this programmer.
The last step is to burn the code in the microcontroller. As we have an ISP port, we simply connect it to the programmer and burn the code into the receiver microcontroller using Extreme Burner AVR. So here we have a full functional remote mouse controller. It allows you to operate the mouse of your PC from a distance, which is quite a helpful feature, especially when you are watching a movie or listening to music. Hope you have enjoyed our little presentation, and maybe you could try making a remote mouse controller yourself.